The Ashford estate shimmered with holiday splendor. A towering 20-foot Norwegian spruce, adorned with crystal ornaments, dominated the grand foyer. 60 guests milled about the marble halls, glasses of champagne in hand, admiring the Victorian mansion that has stood proudly since 1952. My mother posed at the top of the sweeping staircase, draped in red silk, radiating authority as if she were the estate's true owner. Of course, she wasn't. "May I have everyone's attention?" she called out, tapping her glass to quiet the crowd. The chatter died down. My older sister Sarah took center stage, her fiancé Brandon at her side, both glowing with excitement. "This year, I have a very special Christmas gift to announce," Mom said, her voice echoing through the foyer. "Sarah and Brandon are getting married in June, and we're giving them the east wing of Ashford Estate." The room erupted in applause. Sergei squealed in delight. I lingered near the library entrance, eggnog in hand, observing with detached curiosity. 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a private kitchen, a separate entrance. Mom continued, "We've already hired designers. It will be their own home within the family estate." More cheers filled the room. Sarah paraded through the announcement, basking in her imagined royalty. Mom gestured toward my younger brother. "The West Wing will go to Michael when he marries." He pumped his fist enthusiastically. I sipped my eggnog and quietly checked my phone. An email from Fletcher and Morrison, estate attorneys, had arrived 3 days earlier. Subject: Trust Fund Activation, Ashford Estate. The documents confirmed what I had known for 4 years. The estate, the whole property, legally belonged to me. I had been the rightful owner since my 25th birthday. Under the table, I texted my attorney. They just gave away the East Wing. Activate everything. Security team ready. Midnight. Let them enjoy Christmas Eve first. The truth was hidden from my family. My grandfathers will place the Ashford estate into a trust to be activated when the youngest grandchild turned 25. An independent board would decide which grandchild would become the primary beneficiary, based on maturity, education, and financial responsibility. I had been chosen 4 years ago. Not Sarah, with $90,000 in credit card debt and 2 dropped college attempts. Not Michael, who'd been fired from 3 jobs and was currently finding himself in Europe at Mom's expense. Me, the quiet middle child, financially stable, never a burden. For 4 years, I had been a legal owner, paying $16,700 a year in property taxes, along with maintenance, insurance, utilities, and staff salaries, a total investment of $1.2 million. And no one had a clue. I had wanted to see how the family would behave if they didn't know the truth, if they would include me in decisions, if they would treat me like I mattered. They hadn't. They had just divided up my home without a thought. Dinner was a feast of roasted duck and truffle potatoes. I sat between Aunt Caroline and Cousin James, listening to Sarah detail her renovation plans. "We'll have marble countertops," she said. "And that old fireplace is going so outdated." That fireplace had been original to the house, installed by Grandpa, valued at $45,000. "And the library?" Brandon asked casually. "The library contained first editions worth over $200,000, Grandpa's cherished collection." "Absolutely," Mom replied. "Grandpa would want you to make it your own. Grandpa would have had a stroke." "And you, Claire?" Aunt Caroline asked. "Still living in that tiny downtown apartment." "For now," I said evenly. "When I marry, I'll take the servants' quarters." Michael chimed in, "Pretty nice for what they are." He didn't realize those quarters had once been Grandpa's office suite, the place where he taught me about investments and property management. "I'll keep that in mind," I said, my tone calm. Mom raised her glass. "To family, tradition, and the next generation making this house their home." I raised mine too, but didn't drink. I simply watched them celebrate giving away rooms in a house I had funded for 4 years. At 11 p.m., I excused myself to the library and dialed Fletcher and Morrison. They've divided the entire estate, I said, planning to gut the library, remove the original fireplace, without permission. Time to act. "Are you sure?" my attorney asked. "It's Christmas Eve." "They're going to destroy Grandpa's library," I said. "Security arrives at midnight. My mother and siblings will be informed and given options.
Stay as tenants paying $8,000 a month, or leave within 60 days. After hanging up the phone, I lingered in Grandpa's study. First editions of Hemingway, Fitzgerald, Steinbeck lined the shelves. The desk where he had patiently taught me about compound interest waited silently. He knew I would understand. That's why it had been left to me. By 11:45, I returned to the sitting room where close family had gathered, still discussing renovations. There was Claire. Mom called out cheerfully, "We're turning the sunroom into a yoga studio." Thoughts? I cleared my throat. "We need to talk. Now." My tone froze the room. When Grandpa passed, he left the estate in a trust, I began. It was set to activate when the youngest grandchild turned 25. An independent board would select a single beneficiary based on financial responsibility and maturity. They chose me. For years ago. I've been the legal owner since I turned 25. The champagne glass slipped from Mom's hand and shattered. That's impossible, Sarah whispered. I held up my phone. Trust documents. The deed. Property tax records showing 4 years of payments. $67,000 a year in taxes. $1.2 million in upkeep. This is my house. Michael snatched the phone, scrolling desperately. This can't be real. It's public record, I said. You can check with the county clerk. Mom's voice trembled. You've owned this house for 4 years and never told us? I want to see if you'd include me. Ask before making decisions. Instead, you handed Sarah the East Wing, Michael the West, and offered me the servants' quarters. But this is the family estate. Sarah's eyes welled with tears. Now it's mine, I said. And you tried to give away my library without asking. At exactly midnight, the doorbell rang. I opened it to find Fletcher Morrison, Patricia Chin from the trustee board, and David Rodriguez, head of estate security. Good evening, Miss Ashford, Fletcher said formally. We're here to oversee the transition of ownership. My family's expressions shifted from shock to horror. Fletcher handed Mom a folder. The papers confirmed my ownership and spelled out the terms for continued residence. $8,000 a month rent or vacate within 60 days. Rent. Mom's voice was barely audible in her own home. It's not your house, Patricia said firmly. It belongs to Claire. Has for 4 years. You've been living here as guests while she invested over $1 million. Sarah grabbed the folder. We have to pay rent. Correct, Patricia replied. Grandpa structured the trust this way. The board evaluated credit scores, employment history, education, savings, and chose Claire. Sarah's face twisted in anger. Because she's perfect? No, Patricia said calmly. Because she's financially responsible. She doesn't carry $90,000 in credit card debt. Because I hadn't been fired from 3 jobs. Because I cared more about preserving Grandpa's legacy than turning it into a home gym. David stepped forward. Effective midnight, estate security is under Ms. Ashford's control. All exterior doors have been rekeyed. New access codes are active. Only Ms. Ashford has entry. You changed the locks? Mom's face went pale. It's standard procedure for ownership transfer, David explained. Sarah spun toward me, her expression a storm of anger. I hate you. You're stealing our home. I've owned it. I still own it. You tried giving away rooms without asking me. Mom sank into a chair, her voice trembling. What do you want from us? I want you to recognize me as the person who protected this estate and cared for it for 4 years while you treated it like it was nothing. You gave away my library. You wanted to remove Grandpa's fireplace. You offered me the servants' quarters. You underestimated me at every turn. Fletcher glanced at his watch. Miss Ashford has arranged hotel accommodations for anyone who needs time to think. Rooms are covered through the week. Michael's voice cracked. You're kicking us out on Christmas? I'm giving you space to reflect. You can stay tonight in the guest rooms, decide tomorrow. But this is my house. We're done pretending otherwise. One by one, they left. Sarah stormed out silently. Michael grabbed his coat. Aunt Caroline slipped away quietly. Mom lingered last. I raised you, gave you everything. And this is how you repay me, she whispered. You gave me everything except acknowledgement. Grandpa gave me that in this house. He didn't make a mistake. He knew you'd take it for granted. Sarah and Michael weren't ready. He left it to the grandchild who would truly care for it. I walked to the door. Don't expect me at your wedding or next Christmas. I made my choice 4 years ago when I accepted this responsibility. You made yours tonight when you tried to give away my home. Mom left without another word. After the attorneys departed, I wandered the estate alone. I ended up in Grandpa's old office, the servants' quarters. Inside a desk drawer, I found an envelope with my name, something I had discovered years ago, but never opened. Tonight felt right. Claire, if you're reading this, you've been chosen as the estate's owner. I'm proud of you. The board selected you because you understand that wealth isn't just money. It's responsibility and sacrifice. Your siblings see this house as a prize. You see it as a legacy to protect. They won't understand. They may call you selfish. They may say I made a mistake. But I didn't. This house needs someone who values it. Someone who understands what it means to be part of the Ashford legacy. Stand firm. Do what's right. Love, Grandpa. I read it 3 times, tears streaming. He had known. He had known exactly what tonight would bring. 3 days later, Mom signed the lease. Warmth between us was replaced with cold formality. Sarah moved out within 2 weeks, sending me a bill for emotional damages. My attorney returned it politely. Michael took the 3rd-floor guest suite, paid his rent, and avoided me entirely. The estate was quiet now, no more parties, just me and a home finally mine. My cousin James texted, "Grandpa always knew it was yours. He said you were the only one who really listened. Proud of you." The east wing remained untouched. The library stayed intact. Grandpa's fireplace continued to warm a house in the right hands. 2 months after Christmas, I stood in Grandpa's office reviewing renovation bids. The estate needed real updates, not Sarah's marble countertops or home gyms, but essential infrastructure. New plumbing in the west wing, roof repairs, HVAC upgrades in the servants' quarters. My phone rang. Unknown number. Claire Ashford speaking. "This is Jennifer Walsh from Architectural Digest. We're featuring historic estate preservation, and your name came up. Would you be interested in an interview?" I hesitated. "How did you get my name?" "Patricia Chin from your grandfather's trust board mentioned the remarkable work you're doing preserving a 1952 Victorian estate. We'd love to feature your story." "I'll think about it," I said. "One more thing," she added. "We heard about some family drama surrounding the inheritance. Our readers love human interest angles." I hung up, considering. The estate had been a family secret for so long. Maybe it was time to tell the real story. A week later, Mom called, her first direct contact since Christmas. "Reporters are asking about the estate, Grandpa's will, and about you. Architectural Digest wants a feature." "You can't do that interview. It would humiliate the family." The family had already humiliated themselves when they tried to give away my home. Silence. Then came Sarah, struggling. "The wedding is off. I can't afford my rental. Can I move back as a tenant? You know I can't pay $8,000 a month. Downtown apartments are $1,200. Those were cramped studios in rough neighborhoods, places people lived when they couldn't afford anything grand. I'd spent 3 years in one myself, saving every penny. And this is your sister." The same sister who spent a lifetime calling me boring, who wanted to strip Grandpa's library to make room for a home gym, who hadn't spoken to me in months except to send a ridiculous emotional damages bill. Mom's voice cracked. "Please choose family. Family asks before taking. Family contributes, not consumes. Family doesn't offer you a servant's quarters in your own house." I hung up. The Architectural Digest feature had been in March. They sent a photographer and a writer named Rebecca Kim, who spent hours walking the estate with me. "Your grandfather built this in 1952, I said. She photographed the fireplace, and my sister wanted to tear it out. "It looks outdated," she said. Rebecca shook her head. "It's perfect. True craftsmanship. You can't find this anymore." She clicked more pictures, capturing the intricate woodwork, the library, the grand hall. "Why did Grandpa set the trust up this way?" she asked. I led her to the library, showed her the books, the maps, the desk where he'd taught me about money. "He didn't see this house as a prize," I said. "He saw it as a responsibility. something to protect. Our family didn't understand that. They saw rooms to claim. I saw a legacy to preserve. The article came out in June. The images were stunning, but it was Rebecca's words that made it explode online. While her siblings schemed to tear down history, 29-year-old Claire Ashford quietly invested over $1.2 million to protect her grandfather's vision. When the estate was at risk, she revealed she already owned it. The story went viral. Comments poured in. My family fought over everything when Grandpa passed. My siblings stole heirlooms and left me with nothing. The tale resonated. Interviews, podcasts, even a book offer. And one enraged text from Sarah. You made us look like monsters. Happy now. I didn't reply, but I wasn't upset. In July, my cousin James called. I'm getting married in September. You should come. Sarah will be there too. I know, but come anyway. You preserve Grandpa's legacy, that matters. I went, kept to the back. At the reception, my brother Michael found me. Nice article, he said quietly. Thanks. I got a job, assistant manager now. Paying Mom's rent, my share. Rent? I asked. She can't manage alone, and I stayed free too long. He hesitated. I was awful at Christmas. Before that too. It's okay, I said softly. Guest suite's open if you want it, lease and all. I'll think about it, he said, walking away. It's something at least. 2 months later, Sarah called. I'm back with Brandon. We're in therapy. Looking for a small place. That's good, I said. Your article, it was hard to read. Seeing what you did while I wanted to gut the library. Seeing how much you gave while I was in debt. I'm sorry it hurt. You don't need to apologize. I treated you poorly. You were steady, quiet, and I made it seem unimportant. It wasn't. What changed? Therapy. Losing everything. Facing who I really was. I thought I deserved your house. I didn't. I see it now. The books? Grandpa's books, you're keeping them safe. Yeah, she said. It wasn't forgiveness exactly, but it was understanding. A year later, I hosted Thanksgiving. A small gathering of loyal people, James and his wife, Michael, now a reliable tenant, Aunt Caroline, Mom with her homemade pie. Sarah didn't come, but she sent a card. Thank you for protecting what Grandpa built. He'd be proud. We ate in the same dining room where so much had once fallen apart. Now it felt calm. James raised a glass to me for standing up for what was right. I didn't lose everything, I said. Just the people who only cared when I was useful. Kept the ones who matter, Aunt Caroline added. Michael smiled. Working, paying rent, it feels good. Thanks for not letting me get lazy. We laughed. The house felt lighter. After dinner, I wandered through the quiet rooms. The library was safe. The fireplace glowed warmly. Grandpa's map hung proudly. The estate finally felt like home. Then my phone buzzed, an email from the book agent. 6-figure offer for my memoir. I looked around the study. His desk. My desk now. I smiled. I typed back, very interested. Let's talk. Grandpa built the estate. I protected it.